Vault 7-6 crack like a boil on God's back. I crawled out blind with a mullerat snack. A pharaoh ghoul flashed me with shriveled pride, and dry humped the mailbox till it died. Scorched guy screamed, lit himself on fire, then offered hugs like a Baptist lie. A super mutant juggled its own spleen, said, "You new here, wanna join my spleen team?" My pit boys haunted its screams in Latin and played soft jazz while I'm fighting the kraken. First 10 minutes I was robbed, kissed and cursed. My ass closed blue and my bladder burst. A rat ant whispered, "Taxes are fake," then bit my ear and called me Jake. I waved to the scribe who flipped me the bird. I got mugged by a goose in Brotherhood fur. Welcome to the Wasteland Waves, where ghouls do yoga and Brahmin sass. Hope's been gutted, peace got shot, and the water gives cancer and fire. Where Sandy's gone and the bugs do crimes, and a cold tail screams for bottle cap dime. I built a shack with doors made of teeth. It moans when I sneeze and hums underneath. The roof leaks blood, the walls scream die, and my fridge just grew another eye. Chester the roach handles rent and coke, while the power runs on trauma and smoke. My bed's a trap, my couch eats hoes, and a window shows a demon that glows. I got a painting that won't stop farting, and a closet full of bones labeled Martin. My campfire chants in a Jersey accent, while the sink dispenses used antidepressants. Call the Southside chant memes and fire. One licked my doorknob and called me sire. I added a turret, but it hates me too. Now it shoots my pants when I try to poo. Trap, come to the Wasteland Waves, where toilets scream and the plants harass. Your bed's a lie, your dreams combust, and your toothbrush whispers in death we trust. Where your lamp has fleas and your walls leak fear, and your microwave's pregnant with Pioneer gear. I dated a century bot with low self-worth. It exploded mid-kiss and renamed the earth. Got catfished hard by scorched in heels. Now I flinch when anyone squeals. I tried the enclave, peed in a jar. They cloned me twice and sold me to Mars. Brotherhood of Steel said join our cause, then beat me senseless for breathing law. Said it's ghosted me for a glowing cow, while raiders used my nudes for caps somehow. I sent a love letter to Rose the bot. Now my toaster gets jealous a lot. Now I hang with Chuck, a corpse in lace. We play Guess the STD in my camp space. The neighbors cannibals who host base sales, in a mirror there poet each mail. Come to the Wasteland Waves, where love's a glitch and friends don't last. You'll die on fire with a sexy groan, in a respawn nude in a murder zone, where your soulmate's dead and still says hi, and the dating pool's just ticks in a tie. When to go moan, I crave your guilt, then wore my hat and a dress it built. A sheep squash twerked and stilettos tight, while honeybees held her prom at night. Snelly Gosters barked about tax reform, while gulpers married a nuke in storm. A scorched beast queen slid down a pole, yelled mommy's home, and crushed my soul. A group of frogs with jazz in their lungs did backflips while chewing on rats' stuck tongues. Then a rabid wolf offered me a vape and said it's cool, it's great, and rape. I ran through fog that whispered threats, saw a tick do yoga in fish nets. Now I scream when the moon turns red and cuddle a radroach I named Uncle Fred. Yeah, welcome to the Wasteland Waves, where the deer are armed and the cows wear brass. The trees will judge you, the sky might flirt, and a mole rat priest bless my shirt. Where evolution backfired hard, every beast wants your debit card. The responders fed me a baby sock, said it's protein bro, and gave me a rock. The free states made me sniff gunpowder tea, then shanked me for asking if walls pee. Raiders got drunk and tied me to a Brahmin, made me do taxes and spelled it cramming. The settlers nice, but they shit in jars and sell toe picks to mutated stars. Enclave spot on my dreams and bones, sold my DNA to a talking cone. Brotherhood charged me to fart in line, then yelled to his hole and stole my spine. The Mothman cult said I was the muse, then drew dicks and blood on my Vault-Tec shoes. Rose the bot, she sexted my fridge, now I'm blackmailed from a mountain ridge. Welcome to the Wasteland Waves, where fire gives hugs and ghosts tap ass. You made it, champ, there's no escape. Just bend, scream, and accept your fate. Welcome to the Wasteland Waves, where the dirt gets drunk and the bugs wear masks. Your soul's been pawned, your meat's on lease, and the best thing here is death's release. Welcome to the Wasteland Waves.
I carved a life from the bark and stone, stacked each log like I stacked my hope. Built a porch where my son learned to walk. His first word was bird, not mom, not talk. She'd laugh and pull him close to her chest, say he was born of song, a forest guest. We weren't rich, but we were free, living where the air tasted wild and clean. Then the sky split open like a rotten lung. caught fire and the screaming begun. I came back with a deer slung proud on my back, found them melted into the sheets, faces black. Their mouths were open, like they'd still been calling me. I stood there till the sun rose and the trees stopped breathing. I dug with my hands cause the shovels were gone, buried him deep by the creek where she'd hum songs. Marked the dirt with a wetting spoon, said goodbye to my world neath the blood bright moon. I drank paint thinner and screamed at the wall, cut the silence just to hear anything at all. Tried to hang myself from the barn's old beam, but it cracked and laughed, it wouldn't let me leave. So I walked, left my name in that place, let the wind peel it from me like a mask off my face. Found an old sign that read Morgantown, where the only thing breathing was the sound. God, that sound, that humming, it never ends. I think it's the ground calling us again. Run, run from Appalachia's flame, before it sings your soul the same. Before you kneel to stone that weeps, before you dream and something speaks. I met a preacher who drank bone broth and coal, said the Lord spoke now through burning ghouls. He bathed in ash and wore a crown of twine, said the bombs were just a new kind of wine. He fed me jerky from a human thigh, said it was communion and not to cry. I told him he was sick, that God was dead. He kissed my mouth and called me bread. I ran through the hollers and hollows, but my own shadow began to follow. It whispered soft in my dead son's tone, Daddy, the worms are cold, come home. I clawed my ears till they bled through my hands, but the voice keeps coming from the land. I stitched my dog back to life with twine and spit, named him Harvest and he fucking bit. Now he guards my camp made of bones and teeth, and I talk to the stars that live underneath. Last night I married a scarecrow bride, gave her my thumb so she'd stay by my side. She don't blink, but she smiles real sweet, and her breath smells just like spoiled meat. I sleep inside a hollow log filled with dolls, they whisper secrets of the mountain's calls. Said the forest ain't wood, it's skin and hair, and the rivers are veins with eyes that stare. I can't stop laughing when the fog rolls in, it tastes like her perfume and gun oil and sin. Run, run from Appalachia's jaws, it grinds your bones and sucks your cause. It feeds you lies on velvet tongues and names you king before you're hungry. I don't remember my son's name no more, just the way his shoes sat by the door. I wear one now to keep my toes from rotting, others full of teeth I keep forgetting. I met myself last week in a mirror cracked. He said it's time, Elijah, you can't come back. My hands are birds, my blood is mist, every kiss I dream ends in a fist. This world ain't dead, it just pretends to sleep so it can climb inside when you're buried deep. My lungs are black from smoking ghosts, I eat beetles now, and I miss her toast. Well, run from this cursed ground before your name makes that same wet sound, before the air learns to say your sins, before Appalachia pulls you in. If you're listening, don't look for me. Don't try to fix anything here. This place is the devil's throat, and it whispers pretty if you're lonely enough. I'm done, I'm gonna sit with them now. They're waiting. Run from Appalachia. Run.
The sun climbs slow through a curtain of ash, and the headlines speak in a language so brash. But beyond the tension, beyond the war drums, a different music beneath it all hums. In the hush of the factory before the first shift, the pause before booth heels give concrete a lift. In the nurse's breath as she ties on her mask, and the trembling voice taking the impossible task. A father watches from his porch in the plains, coffee in hand, ignoring his pains. He fought before, and he'd fight again. But his prayer today is for better men. His daughter wears his old dog tags now, stands straighter than most, with sweat on her brow. She loads grain in silence. She's just 19, but already a veteran of battles unseen. We remember the eagle and we carry her cry, not in shouts of revenge, but in reasons why. She flies through the hearts that rise before dawn, who build when it's hard, who stay when it's gone. Her wings are the stretch of our country's spine, her voice in the cold dust, the oak, the pine. We are the echo, the grit and the grace, the steady, unbroken American face. She calls not for glory, not fortune, not fame, but the honor of service, the weight of the name. In the warehouse hum and the auto line song, where the shifts run deep and the days are long, there's a different kind of soldier at war, with grease on her hands and boots on the floor. She willed steel for hulls that float on the tide, each spark a promise, each rivet a guide. Not all who serve wear camouflage green, some serve with ink, with code, with machine. The baker who feeds 3 blocks from scraps, the builder who bridges the concrete gaps, the mother who sends her 3rd son to flight and still finds the strength to leave on a light. We serve not alone, not above or apart, but as threads in a flag, each bound to the heart. And when the night's long and the signal grows thin, we tune our hope to the wave within. We remember the eagle and we carry a cry, through silent resolve, through tears that dry. In the oath we whisper at 17, in the storms we outlast the wounds unseen. It's not just the firepower, not just the might, it's what we defend when we choose to fight. The laughter in kitchens, the notes of a song, the right to be quiet, to question the wrong. She soars on the backs of the bold and the kind, each heartbeat enlisted, each duty defined. And oh, when the world holds its breath too long, when justice feels brittle and peace feels gone, we do not falter, we do not retreat. We stand where it's hardest, we hold the heat, because freedom's not fed by speeches or flags, but by those who march when the courage lags. The volunteers, the ones who sign, knowing full well where duty aligns. A machinist from Texas, a cop from Duluth, an orphan from Jersey, a dreamer from Booth, all answering one call, not out of wrath, but to shield the children still learning the math, to guard the libraries, the lakes and the light, to say this is ours and we'll hold it tight. Not with hate, not with fire, not out of pride, but with hands held forward, with eyes open wide. Let the world know what the eagle means, not conquest, not chains, not glittering scenes, but volunteers standing in radiant rows, prepared to defend what our conscience knows. We kneel to no tyrant, we break to no fear, we serve for the voices we hold most dear, for the freedom to love, to build, to believe. We give and we give and we never leave. We remember the eagle and we carry her cry, through dust and through dream, with heads held high. In the smallest stacks and the fiercest stands, we offer our hearts, we offer our hands. And though the winds shift, though empires fall, her cry will live in the hearts of us all. Echoes of the eagle, too strong to erase, a song sung forever by the soul of this place.
City hums like a song that forgot the words. Streetlights flicker like they've seen too much hurt. The dashboard glows soft amber and blue, and for a second it feels like I'm still with you. The skyline's a circuit board, but buzzing in neon. I trace our history in the fog. On the glass I lean on. Wipers cut through the silence like old regrets. Hickory and tired but not done yet. You left your jacket in the backseat, still faint with your scent. 100 late night arguments trapped in its threads. I drive past the old bookstore where you made me wait. 5 minutes late, but gotta love that trait. Even now I slow down like time might bend, like the past could open its arms again. Midnight static bleeding through the sound, a ghost in the signal that keeps spinning around. You're the feedback in my mind, the voice I still rewind. A loop with no off switch, a pulse I never found. Midnight static flickers in the glow. You're the song in the static I can't outgrow. Still riding shotgun in my soul, like a reel that plays but never lets go. It's 2:17 a.m. and I'm still in motion. Highway stretched like a slow spilling ocean. I count the exits like old wounds I've traced. Each one leads somewhere but none lead to your face. You always said I'd drive like I'm trying to escape, but now I know I was just following your shape. The rear view reflects what I never could say, that I miss you more in the in-between gray. A phone call away, but we stopped pretending. Now the ringtone's off, the message is pending. Billboards flash with half-true advice. Move on, let go, find peace, live twice. But I've memorized your silence, your favorite drink, the way you twisted your hair when you needed to think. All those details you left in my chest like knives, cutting still yet keeping me alive. Midnight static bleeding through the sound, a ghost in the signal that keeps spinning around. You're the feedback in my mind, the voice I still rewind. A loop with no off switch, a pulse I never found. Midnight static flickers in the glow. You're the song in the static I can't outgrow. Still riding shotgun in my soul, like a reel that plays but never lets go. Maybe you're in some other car, down some other road, laughing in a city I'll never know. Maybe you've forgotten the way my hands shook when I said I was fine, but you knew that look. I scream into the static, I whisper to the night, but the only answer is this humming satellite. If love's a frequency, ours never died. It just got lost somewhere in the wires outside. Midnight static buried in the beat, still crackling under every track I repeat. You're the bass in my chest, the dream I confessed, but you vanished somewhere down this one-way street. Midnight static flickers through the snow, like headlights from a place I'll never go. Still riding shotgun in my soul, still part of the noise I can't control. Midnight static won't let go, not a flame, not a spark, but a constant glow. A code I'll always hear in the static you're near, and I drive just to keep saying hello. I stood at where the wind used to whisper through cornfields when summers wore linen skirts and danced barefoot on gravel roads, where cicadas marked time louder than clocks, and grief was just a thundercloud, not a constant ache. Back then the sky knew its place, a blue page above everything, and I just a name carved on a
birch tree, forgotten but firm. I watched seasons trade secrets in the tall grass, let wildflowers tell me things my parents never dared. I stood while cities rose, fell and rose again like stubborn waves, their lights a static hum. Behind the mountains I refused to climb. I let the chaos pass by, untouched and quiet as moss and stone cracks, because sometimes resistance is just staying whole while everything else tears itself apart. They built their monuments tall, shiny as lies, all glass and chrome, fragile as a promise at midnight. Skyscrapers that reached for gods they didn't believe in, prayers typed in code, spoken in shares and slogans. I sat beneath a dying oak, my back to their neon gospel, listened to the roots speak of time slow, patient, endless. Their noise couldn't touch the silence I wrapped around me, a blanket of still breath, an aching sky. They ask why I didn't move, didn't chase, didn't fold. I smiled like a secret, a blade of grass beneath a boot, unbroken even if bent, soft but never gone. I watched the birds fly elsewhere, their wings not fleeing but choosing skies that still knew how to weep when needed. And I stayed, not out of fear, but out of something fiercer, something they forgot when they learned how to forget. Time has teeth now, sharp and white, chewing hours into bone dust and deadlines. But I sit cross-legged in the winds of yesterday's ambition, tracing the cracks in the concrete like constellations. I brew tea from dried lavender and stillness, sipping stories passed down from women who wore silence like silk. The world changes like a fire, fast, hungry, always needing fuel. But I burn slow, I burn blue. They run for new names, new gods, new borders. I name each dusk after something I love and don't need to own. There is rebellion in doing nothing loud, in tending a garden no one else sees, in mending your own seams. Instead of buying new skin, I wear time gently, let it fold me like paper, not into something smaller, but into something sacred. They told me stillness was cowardice, but look, I'm still here. And they don't even remember what they were running toward. Let them forget, I remember. Now the sky forgets to fall every day, a little more unsure of itself, spilling stars sideways, forgetting where dusk ends. But I do not forget, I am the record keeper of quiet things. I tend to the dust, the pauses, the almost, the space between inhale and collapse. Let them build their towers, I'll be the breath in the cracks, the ghost of everything they paved over. Still singing, still home, still unshaken.
Vault 76 cracked open, smoke in the sky. I walked out with 3 inches of hope and 1 twitchy eye. My pants were tight, my soul unclean. I had one goal, to fuck everything mean. First thing I saw was a Brayman in heat. Tore off my vault suit, whispered, "Let's eat." Plowed that cow till it begged me for red away. Left a milkshake in the grass, then went on my way. I humped a scorched beast upside down in a tree. Got head from a Mr. Jucte who called me Comrade Mid-Beef. Fucked a mirror queen, eggs bursting from thrusts. My dick got pinched, but she came from the crust. I raw dogged a death claw and kissed its claws. Now I got scars that make brotherhood pause. Once humped a nuke as it dropped from the air, blew my back out, but goddamn worth the scare. The wasteland dickhead is here. Oh, it flaps, it slaps, it's highly unstable. It's knocked over tables and melted a cable. From flatwoods to a toga, they know my meat stick. The legendary tale of the fallout fuck dick. I banged a glowing ghoul in a vault with no light. She bit off my earlobe, I said fuck, that's right. Slid inside a behemoth while he watched holotapes. Used a tire iron, spread his cheeks into shapes. I lubed up with radaway, spit in old sap, then greased up a sentry bot and rode its lap. I deep-throated a plasma rifle for kicks. Got head from a blood bug, sucked me till I twitched. I fingered a snallygosser's third mouth hole, then rimmed a feral ghoul till he found his soul. I teabagged a turret while the raider screamed. Came in a bear trap, called it pipe dreamed. I 69'd a mullet in the white spring halls while robots clapped and marked the walls. Once stuck it in a Nuka-Cola dispenser, got slurped dry, called it the Tingle Adventure. Oh, they fear, they cheer, they whisper and run. His dawn glows green like a mini sun. From crater to the mire they all scream quick. He's the nuked out legend called Chernakov Dick. Then came the night, I tried to fuck Mothman. He blinked once, and my whole dick went bland. No pulse, no twitch, no chemical spray. Just meat like a gory noodle left out all day. I tried Jet, I tried Psycho, I jerked off with glass. I fucked an iBot's voice box just for the sass. Nothing, not even a twitch in my pants. My legendary prick had lost its stance. I visited Modus, begged him to scan. He said, bro, even your balls ran. I found a cult that worshipped hard-ons of yard, but they laughed at my pants and pushed me out the door. Now I walk the ashlands with a limp and a sob. Once a sex god, now a soft sad knob. Even ghouls don't flirt, even protectrons say declined. I'm just a husk with radioactive grind. No, it once could fuck a Liberty Prime. Now it sags like scorched pre-war crime. I've boned, I've blasted, I've lit full sick, but my pistol's jammed and I miss my dick. So hang your hat in the
the glow of my shame. A vault dweller fucked everything but lost the game. No doctor, no ghoul, no vault tech trick could ever bring back my glow in the dark dick. If you see me, don't weep, just clench your cheeks, for I'll try again at least once every few weeks. But know this, my friend, as the rad storms tick, yes, I saved the world, but I lost my dick.
My mama grew peace signs in the cracks of our street, painted love on a stop sign where tanks used to meet. Daddy played protest hymns on a rustic guitar, strumming chords loud enough to shatter the stars. We danced on the porch while the sirens sang doom, made art on the windows, not space in a tomb. Our dog wore a helmet made out of a pot and barked at the sky like it mattered a lot. They said war is necessary with their gold-toothed grins, but we said so is beauty and made sun out of sins. The garden out back bloomed mushrooms and tears, and still we grew color in the soil of our fears. I learned to spell peace in tear gas fog, learned truth from a priest and a one-legged dog. And every petal I pressed in my war journal's glue, I whispered, no matter what comes, I'll paint it blue. Soft rising, paint the bomb blue, like the sky before flame, like a memory defiant, like a child's name. Wrap that warhead in daisies and string, make it sing, baby, make it sing. We don't want flags soaked in red like wounds, we want colors that hum, not military tunes. If death must fall like morning dew, then let it shimmer, let it glow, let it paint the bomb. They shot poets in DC for singing too loud, so we passed the mic to the trees and the clouds. One old man in Appalachia built a harp from bones and plucked chords that made the drones moan. I saw a mother tape her protest to a Molotov smile, then cradle her child through a checkpoint mile. The baby didn't cry, just sucked on her braid and stared at the soldiers like he knew what they paid. We've seen peace gunned down on a freeway lane, and still we rise up with more signs, more names. I'd rather be a pacifist than a pawn, a bloom in the barrel, a voice at dawn. We fed soup to rebels and songs to the weak, and whispered love through the cracks in the sleek. I don't want medals, I don't want rank, I want rivers and stories and a world that sank. It's bombs in the mud, it's fists in the loam, and said, we're not afraid, we're going home. Full of coins, us to being grace. Let the war machine blush at the human face. Let peace be louder than 1,000 guns. Let love march in when the last soldier runs. We make peace, not war, we choose bloom, not blast. We plant daffodils in shadows that last. So if fire must fall and death must debut, we'll welcome it singing, paint the bomb blue. You down in the vaults, curled behind steel, drinking fake light like a communion meal. You left the sun for safety, the sky for lies, and soldier songs for filtered sighs. But here we are, above unshaped, our lungs full of stars and rot and grace. We still kiss in fields where the ground is cracked, still carve poetry into bombshell plaques. You thought you'd survive by sealing the door, but honey, we thrive bleeding color through war. We wore no armor but each other's skin, and when the bombs came down, we breathed in, not to die but to defy, to dance in the dust, to scream out joy before it turned to rust. You can have your pods and your daily dose, we'll take the world bruised but close. In crumbs I was our claim, let the prophets cry out each sacred name. Let no man say we did not sing, let the flames crown peace as queen and king. Make peace not war, make art not fear, let the end be gentle and the beginning near. If this is the last song earth ever knew, let it ring through fire, paint the bomb blue. We let beneath the remains of an old arcade, shared stimpaks and secrets, lemonade and blade. You carried your guilt in a bag of bones, I carried my grief in firecracker tones. We kissed where the nuka ad flickered out and danced to static when the bands went south. You said you were drafted, I said I was done. We laid down naked beneath the dying sun. I wrote your name on the side of a tank with flower paint and tears soft and rank. You said, they can take my gun, not my vow, then sang me to sleep with a voice like vow. We didn't have time for a white picket plan, but we had an hour to pretend we ran. And when your boots left in morning dew, I whispered to God, let him paint a blastful rise. Turn harmony like thunder, let the slap leave flame, let the silence scream what we're made of. Peace not war, make fire from song, let right be right, let wrong be gone. We were born in flames, but we chose light. We chose color and truth and fight. So if the stars must fall and the sky
I remember that summer like a flickering reel, crackling through my memory like an old-time movie feel. You drove up in that rust-red Ford with the window rolled halfway down, hair a mess from the wind, boots dusty from the edge of town. You called me sunshine even when the clouds rolled black, and I laughed like I believed I'd never need to look back. We danced in diners on checkerboard floors. You stole me kisses behind grocery store doors. You were all stubble and strength, grinning easy and wide, and I, girl with lipstick dreams and not much to hide. I didn't need pearls or penthouse skies, just the way you looked at me, like I was the only spark worth saving in a world built on lies. So if they sound the last alarm and this city says goodbye, I've already tasted heaven in the sundown in your eyes. Let the flash consume the skyline, let the fire split the skies. Your love was the only shelter in the sundown in your eyes. I traced your scars with my fingers like a priestess reading fate. Told myself I'd never count the hours you came home late. You held me like a promise the whole damn world forgot. Lit matches on my loneliness and kissed me on the spot. When the neighbors shuttered windows, when the radios ran dry, you still found roses in a war zone and stars in every sky. I'd wait in the hall just to hear your boots hit the floor, heart pounding like a drum behind the safety of that door. You cook me eggs and hum Sinatra, spin me slow while sirens screamed. Your hands, God, your hands like anchors, keeping me from drifting into dream. And I never once asked you to stay, 'cause I knew the kind of man you were, the kind that walks straight toward the blaze to save what others never could. If the clocks all stop tomorrow, if the world just breaks in two, I'll still be wrapped in firelight that I caught when I loved you. Let the stars blink out in silence, let the ash erase the skies. I'll never need another sunrise, not after the sundown in your eyes. And baby, if they seal that vault too soon, if I'm locked away beneath the moon, don't you dare forget my name, don't you hang your head in shame. You gave me something more than time, you made the end of days sublime. So if the war is all we're given, then I was lucky, love, because I got to die living. I kept your notes in a candy tin, tied with ribbon red, rhythm in the dark while the news kept counting the dead. Your handwriting crooked, stained with sweat and oil and dust, still smelled of cedar and cologne, still filled with perfect trust. You wrote, if I don't make it back, don't wait for morning's grace. Just remember me smiling, darling, with sunlight on your face. So I curled up in your flannel shirt, let the radio drone low, listened to the wind shake the glass and pretended not to know. But I felt it, felt the silence before the world gave in, and I whispered every prayer I knew with your name carved in my skin. And when the light came too bright to bear, I held on to the memory of your stare. The only warmth I ever needed was there for you, my love. Wherever you are, I'll meet you at the edge of dusk. I'll wait in the sundown. Good morning, wherever you are, beneath the tarp, under stars, behind walls that were never meant to last. Maybe your shelter's a lean-to of rusted sheet metal and stories too hard to retell. Maybe your bones ache from a night where dreams came too heavy or didn't come at all. But still you boiled water, patch boots tied up your hair, and you faced the ash again. You sifted through yesterday's ruin, one clean spoon, tucked a cracked photo back in your coat like a shield. Maybe you watched the sun crawl up a blasted ridgeline, and for a second you let yourself feel the warmth without flinching. This world don't hand out ribbons for the brave who just keep showing up, but I see you in the hum, I hear you in the silence, and the very act of tuning in is the bravest kind of yes. So I'm sending this signal out into the cold and cracked corners of the morning, a little lantern lit for you. Still burning, still bright, still yours. Thank you for the morning, thank you for the rise, for choosing to stand when the world kept whispering lies. Thank you for the patience, for the breath you didn't know, for listening when the noise got loud and letting kindness grow. May the sky stay wide above you and the stars know your name. May each step feel less heavy than the one that came before. And may this tune feel like home when nothing else feels the same. I once saw a girl walk 10 miles to share a can of beans with a stranger she might never see again. I watched her give away the last piece of her coat and not ask for a single thing in return. I've heard her whistling through hollow vault doors that held more melody than most radios can send. Heard lullabies in rat-scorched cradles where no baby slept, but hope still did. There are poems carved into tree trunks where the bark peeled in the blast, love notes left for no one or for someone who ain't come back yet. There are graves without names, marked only by flowers someone still plants, and campfires where enemies once stood, now past hand-rolled smokes and shared bread. We've all been ghosts at one time or another, but this signal you're listening to now, it's proof you're still here. wandered farther than most maps ever knew how to hold. You've touched soil that never forgot the blood, and still you pause to hear an old voice on the air, because part of you still believes the world might forgive itself. Thank you for the morning, thank you for the grace, for walking through the hollow places with courage in your face. May your crops come up in sunlight, may your hands hold something true, may your tears come soft and easy when there's no one left but you, and may peace find its way to your door like the friend that remembers you. Yeah, thank you for the morning. You've already done more than you knew. Maybe you don't speak much anymore. Maybe the silence keeps you safer than words. Or maybe you just ran out of things to say to a world that don't listen the way it used to. I've known that hush too, that tired, weighty stillness that comes when loss becomes the air. The way your breath becomes a burden, the way the light makes your eyes ache. But just know the quiet don't make you small. You are not a lesser song just 'cause you sing inside it. If you got up today, if you turned a knob, adjusted an antenna, even just heard this, that's a kind of victory most songs never get to sing about. You don't need to march, don't need to preach, don't need to shout, because by tuning in right now, you're holding open a door the dark can't close, and maybe that's enough. Maybe that's everything. Thank you for the morning, thank you for the light, for taking just one more step when all you'd known was night. May your ammo stay dry and your fires always catch. May your words come back when your heart's ready to match. And may the echoes of your better days come walk you back. I folded your jacket and stared down at the ground. The quiet pressed in like a weight without sound. Your cologne still clings to the cotton sleeve's edge, a fragile reminder I can't seem to forget. Sunlight filtered through curtains wide and slow. It warmed the room briefly, then let go. I found your old note tucked behind the door. It just said back soon, but you're not anymore. Your toothbrush stands in its spot by the sink, like it's waiting for you, refusing to think. The clock still ticks, but the rhythm feels wrong, like time keeps marching though you've been gone. And I swear I still feel your footsteps tread, trailing behind me like things left unsaid. They say the heart will soften and bend, but mine just echoes where you should have been. I draw your name in the fogged up glass and lose you again as the moments pass. I'm still here somehow, standing in the quiet, trying to breathe through the static and riot. You're gone, but I feel you in every sound, in shadows that follow me all over town. The world keeps moving like I'm supposed to, but moving ahead feels too far from you. I smile and I nod like I figured out how, but pretending I'm still here somehow. I cleaned out the fridge and found your old tea, half empty, expired, but it still felt like we. Your scarf slipped behind the back of the chair, and I hold it sometimes just to feel you there. I open your drawer, but I never reach in, as if touching your things means letting you end. Your shoes still sit in their perfect row, and I step around them like they still know. Your mug has dust, but it's still where you placed it, and I talk to it softly, pretending you'll taste it. Your voice is gone, but the silence is loud. It wraps me in echoes thick like a shroud. Your favorite book awaits with a folded spine, and I read from page 5, pretending it's mine. They tell me time will round off the edge, but I'm still carved into this crumbling ledge. I light your candle like a holy vow, hoping the flame might find you somehow. I'm still here somehow, piecing back the days, filling the space in small quiet ways. You're gone, but your echo still knows how to make me unravel. I'm still here somehow. I write your name like it still belongs. I hum along to your half-finished songs. The pain is quiet, but it screams out loud, and I'm still here somehow. Maybe this isn't healing, just the pain changed its face. Maybe staying behind is my only place. I eat from the edge of the bed every night, with your name in my mind like a flickering light. The calendar hasn't moved since that week. Your birthday still circled like something to seek. I scroll through your photos, afraid to delete, because losing them feels like accepting defeat. Neighbors ask kindly, how have you been? And I lie with a smile and let the pain in. I whisper your name just to hear it out loud, even if no one's around in the crowd. Some days I fake peace just to get through, but pretending I'm fine only hides what's true. I watered the plants though they're barely alive. You always believed that they'd somehow survive. Your keys still hang on the kitchen wall, like they're waiting for hands that won't come at all. I dusted your side of the record shelf slow, then talked to the quiet like you'd just say hello. I left your old hat in your favorite seat, as if that small act could make us complete. The air still shifts when I pass by your space, like the house itself still remembers your face. I folded your scarf in the way you like best, then laid it out gently like you needed rest. There was no big ending, no tearful goodbye, just the lingering proof that I still try. I'm still here somehow, more lost than strong, still asking the sky what I did so wrong. You're gone, but your warmth still haunts the air, and I find you in places where you're not there. My heart still beats with too much room, each thought echoing like an empty tune. There's nothing left to promise or vow, only the fact that I'm still here somehow. Some days I rise, some days I fall, but love like this survives it all.
I got a half-lit camel hanging from my lip like a broken psalm unsaid, leaning back on a '79 Chevy, rust flaking like my thoughts of the dead. Boots kicked up on the bumper, hat tipped low against the dying sun. Every puff's a prayer wrapped in ash, and I breathe deep till the regrets come. Ain't been to church since '09 Easter, and even then I left before the song. But sometimes I hear them hymns and the engine knocking when the nights get long. I got a heart that don't kneel and a soul that don't beg, but it still aches. And when the stars cut cold and the road gets mean, I wonder what it takes. So I light one more in the silence, where nobody listens but the smoke. And I reckon if he's watching, Jesus don't mind if I smoke. Jesus don't mind if I smoke, if I curse at the sky and sleep in my coat. He knows I got fire I ain't learned to tame, ashes on my tongue but he don't blame. I ain't got much, just a lighter and hope, and a prayer that burns slow like tobacco and rope. So if heaven's got room for the bruised and broke, then I believe Jesus don't mind if I smoke. Mama used to say I was born stubborn, baptized in thunder and sin. She'd cry when I came home with blood on my shirt and lies tucked under my grin. She left the porch light on till cancer took her breath and her Sunday dress. Now I leave candles by her headstone, whisper secrets I never confessed. I once loved a girl named Mercy who wore red boots and a crooked smile. She smelled like lilacs and cheap rum and stayed just long enough to stay a while. Told her I'd change, told her I'd fight, but I don't fight fair and I never stay clean. So she left me with a Bible and a note saying, you know what this means. I never opened it, still carried though, under the seat with my flask and smoke. When the wind rolls low, I bet Jesus don't mind if I choke. Jesus don't mind if I smoke, if I curse at the sky and sleep in my coat. He knows I got fire I ain't learned to tame, ashes on my tongue but he don't blame. I ain't got much, just a lighter and hope, and a prayer that burns slow like tobacco and rope. So if heaven's got room for the bruised and broke, then I believe Jesus don't mind if I smoke. I've been drunk under neon crosses, high on guilt and truck stop wine, fucked up in flat broken counties where they don't forgive the line. But I still tip my hat when I pass a preacher, even if his eyes look through. 'Cause I know behind his collar there's a man with a past just like I do. I seen angels on the backs of waitresses and God in the glance of a dying man. Felt grace when a stranger handed me change with a trembling, calloused hand. Don't wear a cross, don't speak in tongues, but I've seen divinity in dive bar light. And when I say amen, it's to the sunrise after a bar fight turned alright. And maybe faith don't need a pew, maybe salvation's in the smoke I blow. And I hope if he's listening, Jesus don't mind if I let it go slow. Jesus don't mind if I smoke, if I curse at the sky and sleep in my coat. He knows I got fire I ain't learned to tame, ashes on my tongue but he don't blame. I ain't got much, just a lighter and hope, and a prayer that burns slow like tobacco and rope. So if heaven's got room for the bruised and broke, then I believe Jesus don't mind if I smoke. They say grace is free, but it costs your pride, and I spent that at 17 on a bed, a bottle, and a borrowed ride that crashed somewhere near Abilene. I've been shot at, prayed over, cuffed and kissed, sometimes all in the same week. Heard a choir of coyotes howl me to sleep with a fever dream and blood on my cheek. And maybe I don't deserve no crown, but I ain't asking for a throne. Just a back porch seat where the sinner's sitting. I can die stoned, but not alone. So I write my name in dust on the dash and let the miles wipe it clean, figuring maybe heaven ain't just white robes but cigarette smoke and gasoline. If the Lord still walks beside the low, through the broke, the used, the soaked, then I'll walk slow and light another, hoping Jesus don't mind if I smoke. Someday I'll lay down this flannel heart on a hill nobody ever mows, where the crickets sing over red clay bones and the moss curls up my toes. Hope they don't scrub me clean for the funeral, let the dirt stay under my nails. Don't play no hymns unless they're sung by a woman who's known her share of jails. Let the pine box be crooked and cheap, with my boots propped by my side, and tuck that last pack in my shirt pocket. Let me take a spark for the final ride. If there's a gate, I'll knock soft. If there's a judge, I'll tip my hat and grin. Say I never claimed to be no saint, but I showed up dirty and walked on in. And if heaven's got a back row pew with a breeze and a place to smoke, then maybe angels don't flinch, and maybe, just maybe, Jesus don't mind if I smoke.
The old world smile, we sip coffee under mushroom clouds painted over the sky by tastic grass, tastic dreams, tastic families held together by static. Vault-Tec grinned like snakes in suits, handing out salvation with a side of chains. TVs laughed while missiles loaded. Housewives baked casseroles beside gas masks. Every billboard screamed tomorrow, while the ground begged for mercy. Kids played fallout drills like tag, hiding from fire behind hope and furniture. We bowed to flags dipped in poison and smiled at lies we paid for. The sirens were just background noise until they weren't. Churches preached comfort, not truth. Truth would have melted their stained glass. And still we danced, one hand in the air, one foot in the grave. It came like a sunrise with teeth. Hell dropped from heaven, people vanished mid-word, mid-laugh, mid-kiss. Turned to shadows on the walls. Sidewalks split open, spitting fire and judgment into cul-de-sacs. The air burned like lies in confession booths, sweet, choking, final. Everything familiar died in a single roaring second of light. Cars melted around their drivers, bones clapped like thunder on pavement. History became ash, memory became noise. The rich screamed from bunkers, the poor just screamed. Mothers shielded babies with arms that turned to smoke, and silence came walking through flame, wearing our faces The wasteland grinned, it missed us, it was hungry. Ash trees grown secrets while feral dogs watched from rusted porches. We built homes from car husks and graves, hope held together with duct tape. Our neighbors were ghouls, our gods wore power armor. Mutants sang in the distance, off key, on fire, always closer than yesterday. We bartered bullets, laughed at pain, shared med-X and memories. Friendships lasted a firefight, love lasted a mag. We drank irradiated rain and pissed vengeance. Every sunrise was earned with blood, breath, and bluffing death. And still we painted beauty and rot like maniacs with loaded brushes. We are the re-end, voices stitched from ash and stubborn flame. No flags, no kings, just fire in our veins, and names carved in ruin. The bombs wrote history, just added the chorus. Every step we take rattles bones the old world tried to bury. We didn't survive, we transformed, fangs bared, hearts feral. Appalachia didn't rebuild, it evolved uglier, louder, alive. We speak in gunshots, we pray in radiation storms. So light your Molotov, baby, we're dancing through hell tonight. This isn't redemption, this is revenge and power armor. We are the last laugh, the final scream, the new anthem of ruin.
The sky turned red and bled to fire as mushroom clouds rose ever higher. Ash like snow fell soft and slow while sirens screamed from down below. The cities cracked, their people cried. We watched it burn and no one died. Not truly known, not soul nor skin, just faith grew thin as hell crept in. We drank from streams that pulsed with sin. We clothed our bones in rotting skin. The stars above turned cold and blind and left our hearts to lag behind. And in the dark I raised my voice, a whisper first, a battered choice. Oh God of fire, vault and smoke, did man first sin, or were we broke? Oh Savior, bleeding on rusted steel, with scars the devil himself could feel. Your mercy's realer than blood and rain, it shields our hearts from all this pain. Though vault doors closed with iron pride, the sky stayed open, clear and wide. And through this wasteland black and white, we walk with you still at our side. When angels fall and hope takes flight, we walk by faith, not by sight. Lead us through ruin, through ash and flame, through every horror in your name. The church up high on Pilgrim's Ridge is now just smoke across the bridge. Its bell is cracked, its altar gone, but in my soul its hymns live on. The pews are dust, the windows dead, the saints long fled or scorched instead. But even still I bend my knee and feel your breath inside of me. No robes remain to guide the rites, just die in fire and silent nights. Yet in the soot your word survives, written in scars and wasted lives. And though no angels tend this place, I see you there in every face.
For even if the land forgets, the soul recalls what it regrets. You said the world would burn, not drown. You warned us, but we laughed it down. We built machines to play as gods and drowned in flame our city's sods. We crowned ourselves with steel and pride and wondered why the sun then died. But you, oh Lamb, still bore our weight and walked through ash outside the gate. You held the cross and not a gun while we set fire beneath the sun. And now we reap what we have sown, but still you call the lost back home. Oh Savior, bleeding on rusted steel, with scars the devil himself could feel. Your mercy's realer than blood and rain. It shields our hearts from all this pain. Though vault doors closed with iron pride, the sky stayed open, clear and wide. And through this wasteland black and white, we walk with you still at our side. When angels fall and hope takes flight, we walk by faith, not by sight. Lead us through ruin, through ash and flame, through every horror in your name. I've watched the scorched beasts crack the ground, their wings a thunderous hellish sound. I've seen good folk turn mad and thin, their minds devoured, their hearts drawn in. The vaults are tombs, the camps are graves, where even heroes die like slaves. But in my chest your fire still beats, beneath the hunger and the heat. A twisted cross hangs from my neck, bent from the war, black from the wreck. Yet still I sing though lungs grow weak, a prayer for those too scared to speak. I've stitched my wounds with thorn and twine, but never cursed this path of mine. For every step I crawl or bleed, you walk beside me, fill my need. These scars are maps of where I've been, through blood and rot, through mold and sin. The rats have chewed this flesh apart, but never touched my burning heart. If judgment falls in every rain, if truth must come through ache and pain, then let it come and let it burn. I'll never trade what I've unlearned, for even if this world decays, your voice still cuts through all the haze. Oh Savior, bleeding on rusted steel, with scars the devil himself could feel. Your mercy's realer than blood and rain, it shields our hearts from all this pain. Though vault doors close with iron pride, the sky stayed open, clear and wide. And through this wasteland black and white, we walk with you still at our side. When angels fall and hope takes flight, we walk by faith, not by sight. Lead us through ruin, through ash and flame, through every horror in your name. And if I die with no last name, with nothing left but grit and flame, let passers-by look on my bones and hear my song in whispered tones. For I have marched where ghouls now sleep, through places even beasts don't creep. And never once did I deny the voice that whispered from the sky.
I walk past his face again today, plastered on a billboard that won't run fast enough. That stupid thumbs up still clean, while I pull shrapnel out of my chest with a fork. He's painted like he saved us, like he's something
monsters who make silence scream back. It wants your hope diced into scraps and fed to starving dogs. I was almost human, now I piss. Gasoline dream wrap in body bags and laugh through bloodstained graves.
Don't you dare call me facts. I was never broken, I was just waiting to bite. Thank God I tasted blood enough to last a lifetime. I met some sellers, fresh-faced fucks smelling like piss and stale hope. Talking about peace with preachers' lies, dripping off their tongues they laugh before they pull knives slicker than oil. One evolved boy pat sewn tight to his gut. I carved that fucking grin up with a rusty fork. Use it to gag the bastard, that's what your idols are good for. Plugging screams when the noise gets too loud. They thought I was a legend they could rob. Thought this place would soften my edges, and hell no. This place gave me time to reload my trauma. Gave me a broken heart and a dead dog's howl to keep me company when they beg like scared rats. I'll let the dog eat first. Left one alive just to piss in his eyes and tell him go tell the others I still walk these ruins.
I was almost human once. Almost human.
Now I'm a walking war crime, a rusted gun with a hair trigger. No more healing, just delay tactics. No mercy, just cold maintenance. No friends, just soft targets to bleed. I'll put down the last man who called me brother without even flinching. Cause kindness gets you killed out here, and I bury my mercy 6 feet under with the last light of the whole world. The mirror's cracked, showing 10 twisted versions of me. All worse, all hollowed out by scars. One laughs like a madman, one weeps without sound. One just stares deep, breathing heavy with rage. None of them are me, or maybe they're all the real me now. I used to think if I kept my hands clean, I'd stay human. The dirt's in the air, man. It's in the food, in the water, under your fingernails. No matter how much you scrub till they bleed. The last clean thing I had was my name, but even that sounds like a threat now. Even that's rusted through like everything else. I talk to myself cause I know I won't lie. And hell, even I don't trust a damn word I say anymore. I'm not lost, I'll be on the fucking map. A ghost writing my own obituary in blood and fire.
There's a voice inside my head that sounds like rust and broken glass. Whispers to tear down what's left before it tears me apart. I crawl through memories like a rat scavenging a burned out basement, scraping for pieces of the man who died in a world that didn't give a shit. I'm sick of the lies, sick of plastic smiles pasted on every goddamn billboard. Sick of feeling like I'm holding on to something that slipped through my fingers while I was too busy surviving, so I'm letting go. Burning the last of my mercy in a fire that'll swallow me whole. No redemption, no second chance, it's just rage and ruin and the pounding of my own fucking heartbeat in the endless void.
But the world turned me into a servant, made of screaming. You want peace, singing. You want truth, bleeding. You want hope, fucking burning. Every time I try to rebuild, some smiling fuck in a costume takes a piss on the rubble. So now I don't rebuild, I just reload. Was lost humans human?
But not anymore, motherfucker.
There's a banner that rises with morning's light, drawn from the dawn like a bird in flight. She shines from the porch where the workers stand, from the tools of the trade to the proudest hand. She waves from rails and roaring steel, from the jet stream skies to the farmer's field. She kissed by the fire of a welder's arc, by the light heart's beam through oceans dark. She flew and conquered through Omaha shore. She flew on the moon and she'll fly once more. Red like the rocket, fast and loud, white like the promise we've always vowed, blue like the eyes of the free and true. Our symbol, our banner, the stripe and blue. Star, stripe, and blue, stand and sing, for the eagle's cry and the liberty ring. Red for the fire in the soldier's breath, the halls of every town where law holds firm and truth is found. She's wrapped on shoulders proud and wide of those who build, protect, and guide. She's draped on statues old and grand in every corner of this land. She rides on floats through city streets and dances in a child's heartbeat. She's the whisper told at a soldier's grave, the flag they gave for the life they gave, red for the strength that held the line, white for the right we call divine, blue for the sky that always knew the flag we pledge, the stripe and blue. Star, stripe, and blue, march it high, from the heartland fields to the northern sky. Red for the brave, white for the just, blue for the flag we swear to trust. On land or sea, in peace or strife, she flies for honor, hope, and life. She's inked on the arm of the cadet salute, on the drill field ground in the leather boot. She's stitched on patches ironed in gold, on every uniform proud and bold. She walks with troops as they load the plane, in every storm, through every strain. She's broadcast loud on the final call, when the first man stands and the last must fall. She's the flag we wave when the dawn breaks red, when families rise and bow their heads. She's duty creed, the steadfast view, the steel in our soul, the stripe and blue. Star, stripe, and blue never fall, let her rise above us all. Red for the hearts that gave their years, white for the hope that outlasts fear, blue for the dream we still pursue, ever our beacon, stars and blue. She's the hush before the anthem plays, the hush that fills a stadium's gaze. She's in the fold of a grandchild's hand, who learns the pledge and takes a stand. She's the gleam on the cap of a marching corps, the silent pride behind every door. She's in the bell that rings each hour, a testament of quiet power. Not just cloth, but something more. A thing we fight, we build, we soar, the past and future sewn straight through. She is America, stripe and blue. Star, stripe, and blue, hold her fast. She is the first flag, she is the last. Red for the voices that never yield, white for the peace they swore to shield, blue for the sky above the brave. Long may she fly, long may she wave. Stars, stripe, and blue.
It began at 4:47 a.m. October 23rd, the day the fire rose like a promise unearned, ballistic hell across the earth, and Appalachia baptized in rebirth. The skies went red, the old world sighed, and all we loved was vaporized. Charleston cracked, the bridges bled, flatwoods burned, and most just fled. The vault door sealed, we watched the feed as friends went dust in streaming bleed. And in that silence soaked in ash, the world died twice, first breath and crash.
We crawled out early from basements deep, and found the hills too still to sleep. No birds, no deer, no frogs, no bees, just wind through bones and poison trees. The scorched came next, not dead, not whole. They moved like men without a soul. Voices low, all mind consumed by some dark song, their blood presumed. We watched our kin begin to twitch. We shot our own, no time to flinch. And in their place just twisted things that howled beneath the scorched beast's wings. What togas bots went mad with loops. The White Spring Guard slaughtered their troops. And Grafton's mayor, mad and vain, still broadcast jokes through acid rain.
Then from beneath the mountain's bones, the steel door opened with groans. Vault 76, a cradle kept, where dreamers fed on rules and slept. They came with charts, with maps, with names, still hoping life could be reclaimed. They didn't see the rot or curse. They saw a world that could be worse. They picked up tools where we dropped guns. They patched the walls, rebuilt the runs. They walked into the mire's deep gloom and planted corn beside the tombs. They gathered us not by command, but by the strength of outstretched hand, and whispered, help us build anew. And somehow we did too.
Deep in the labs of AVR, they found the virus not too far. Burning lungs and twisting thought, the scorched plague could be fought. With Rose at top of the world, they bargained and tracked old orders still disheartened. The fire breathers and responders dead, they followed logs where angels feared to tread. Into the glowing swamp they came, through acid pools and ghoul-burned flame. And from the mire's disease breath, they pulled the cure from out of death, then shared it free to raid or scribe. To settler C.A.M.P head every tribe. No faction pure, no clean-cut line, just people fighting the decline.
Not peace, it calls a price. For deep beneath the fungus ice, the queen still bred her poison kin and cracked the rocks with screams within. When Arcto's labs went fully black and brave men vanished, never back, she rose a scorched beast vast and old. Her eyes like pits, her wings like cold. She called her hive to rise and strike, and we all heard it for defiance alike. The call went out and all was known, it was her or us. This was the throne. The brotherhood came, the numbers low. The enclave stirred in shadow slow. The settlers armed their farms with steel, and raiders came, not friends but real. And so we fought with fire, with lead, with hackbots and turrets fed, with blood and shouts and crackling flame. We screamed until she had no name. At Fisher Prime beneath the moon, we met her shriek with deathly tune. And when her wings broke on the stones, we felt the earth sigh in its bones. The skies turned blue, the trees turned green, the silos quiet, the air turned clean. We danced on graveyards side by side and knew at last we'd really tried. We built new halls at foundation walls. We painted over bunker scrawls. We planted seeds in Morgantown. We held the line, we didn't drown. And when the mountains to forget, but to begin. The world had ended, but not within.
It started not with fire, but a scream in the air when the bombs fell fast and the world laid bare. No angels came, no gods took side, just radiation, silence, and a place to hide. But in the stillness after light withdrew, he came walking in the mist like old truths do. No preacher, no beast, just wings stretched wide, eyes like lanterns through the fear inside. He didn't speak, but the world leaned near, and those who listened, we felt him clear. A presence like gravity, soft but immense, a mind that saw from behind the fence. From vaults, yeah, but not just them. From fire watchtowers and shattered glens. From raiders soaked in blood and bile. From lost responders gone feral with style. From the alleys of Watoga, from flatbed graves. From kids who watched their kin enslaved. From Charleston crushed beneath the soot. The crimson eye crawled from every root. He whispered power into broken minds, fed on rage and poison signs. Not a god, a virus, a predator grinning. He feeds on the pain, he thrives on the thinning. His cult wears scars and cloaks of skin, carves prayers into flesh stretched thin. They choose his flame, they drink the rot, and we, the watchers, they call us not. Oh, wise Mothman, burn so
our chapel in silent mines, in deadland valleys and twisted pines. Not to rule, not to burn, but to see and to help others learn. Our wings aren't metal, our knives don't flash. We leave no bones in a twitching ash. We offer light, not as bait, but a slow way out from hate. And those who come to us scarred, afraid, we give them truth where lies once stayed. We break no wills, we cut no skin, we whisper and they let us in. Now this world splits like an old man's spine. One half black glass, the other moonshine. One path paved in screams and flame. One hums slow with a gentler name. The red cult drinks and gnaws and shouts, but never fucking
Swords on spears and blades on back. They came for slaughter, they came for fear, but our minds were sharp and our aim was clear. We didn't scream, we didn't beg, we stood our ground on the river's edge. They charged, they bled, they shrieked, they fell, and we returned to quiet as they slipped to hell. Some we burned, some we spared, some we watched with heavy stares. Even now, a few still crawl, red-cloaked freaks who missed the call. But we do not hunt, that's not our way. We guide, we heal, we let them stay. If they ever see the moth lie pure, we'll be there with hands unsure. There are 6 wings in the dark, 3 for death, 3 for spark. One god bleeds and breaks the clay, the other whispers, "Come this way." We are not preachers, we are not kings, we are just watchers with moth-bitten rings. We see, we know, we do not flee, and if he calls, we set them free. Oh, wise Mothman, keeper of mine, guide us where the crimson blinds. The world is fucked, the rot runs deep, but we still climb. We do not sleep. Let others scream, let others fry. We are the flame that does not die.
Down in the mine, we heard the roar, not from the drills, but from the sky itself.
Daddy
The
died
air turned
holding
red,
a
the
blowtorch,
rocks
trying
turned
to
soft,
fix the
men
roof
melting in
as
their
the sky
helmets,
turned
screamed for
red.
help.
Yo,
I watched
goddamn
McKinney
termites, that
boil
skin
inside
just
his
shed.
suit, flesh
Mama
slopping
makes
off
do
like
with
steamed
whatever
meat in
scream.
soup. One
Saying
minute
that's
he
some
was shouting,
anthems, it helps the dreams. My sister
Next his eyes
married a
popped
cow,
like
not
fat.
metaphorically.
Tried.
We still get postcards from it, blissed out
Hands
chemically.
burned on rum.
Appalachia,
Art.
sweet decay.
Crack, hard guts.
You took my soul
Made it
and
to
half
the
my
shack.
face.
Just in time.
You kept my thoughts
My little girl in her Sunday dress, arms outstretched in a shadow where her head should be. When the fire reached my lungs, I didn't scream, I just laughed because hell,
and I miss
hell
my
was just
dog,
like
even
the
though I
West
ate her.
Virginia
We used to
dream.
sing around the campfire bright. Now it's just me and a flaming corpse light. I tell jokes to a boot I drew eyes on in chalk. She don't laugh, but goddamn she talks. I met a preacher who married a skull.
I held the clip for her, I watched the gate, the beg for entry, family sobbing too late. You don't have clearance, I said and smiled. The mother pressed her income against the glass, and when the blast hit, cooked like a roast. I ran down steel doors, sealed gas hissed, and the tests began. Group B got hallucinogens, Group C lost light for 70 days. Group D ate themselves, one by one, the lights in their eyes dimmed. And I still took notes, even when they tried to chew through the plexiglass. When the last child hung herself with an IV line, I sat in the dark, waiting for clearance. I slit my own throat on a broken stim pack, but I didn't die.
He made a wife out of duct tape and
Bomb
grease.
whispering formulas and blood on the wall. He came to us in dreams, wings wide as night. He told us the hour was near. We lit the fire, bright black robes, red ash. We danced and screamed. The townsfolk locked their doors. We became the dream. We sacrificed the preacher's son beneath the bridge. We drank the blood, fed it to the ridge. When the bombs came, we laughed and sang. Let flesh be fire, let bone be fang. My skin peeled away with bliss, not pain. Mothman's light burned through my brain, but then the stars cracked. He did not rise, he left us to rot in our holy disguise.
We became beasts, crawling in blind, gnawed our tongues and gouged our eyes. One by one we ripped ourselves apart. I died, still smiling, but the silence screams the loudest in my heart. I was 8 playing hopscotch on cracked concrete, then came the sun. But wrong, Mama scooped me up, skin already blistering. She threw me in the freeze and screamed, "Don't come out till it's over, baby." I waited 6 days. When I climbed out, she was just a pink smear on the wall. Flies thicker than the air. A man tried to eat my arm near Camden Park. I stabbed him with a spoon. I slept inside a scorched Brahmin carcass for heat. I don't remember my last name, but I remember how the sky looked the night the ash fell like snow. And I remember saying, I will not die here. I built a spear from rebar and bone. I hunted raiders for food. I am not clean, I am not whole, but I am still here. Appalachia burns, the ghouls howl, but I burn brighter. My name is fire, my hope is a knife. And when the world forgot how to live, I learned how to survive.
We all burn slow, we all went wrong. Some died in fire, some sang too long, but one crawled out with blood on her teeth. And in the ruin she still believes.
Not in gods, not in flags, not in Voltec lies, but in clenched fists, in newborn cries, in rusted rifles and scars and stone, in the ashes we turned into home.
I didn't come from a vault, I came from a porch where my daddy died holding a blowtorch, trying to fix the roof as the sky turned red. Yelled goddamn termites as the skin just shed. Mama made stew with whatever screamed, said add some mentats, it helps the dreams. My sister married a cow, and not metaphorically, we still get postcards from them, blissed out chemically. Appalachia, sweet decay. You took my soul and half my face. You kept my thoughts but lost my pride. Now I talk to mannequins, cause all my friends died. I laugh when I cry, cause it saves me water. And I miss my dog, even though I ate her. We used to sing round the campfire bright. Now it's just me and a flaming corpse light. I tell jokes to a boot I drew eyes on in chalk. She don't laugh, but goddamn she talks. I met a preacher who married a skull. He asked if I'd be best man. I said that's cruel, but I showed up anyway in my best sack and caught the bouquet made of vertebrae and plaque. Oh, Appalachia, you open grave. You cradle fools who forgot how to cave. To a Brahmin named Greg. Had a friend named Jim who lived in a mine, said sunlight's rude and bombs were fine. He made a wife out of duct tape and grief, and they argued nightly in ghoul belch motif. We once tried to find the meaning of it all, but tripped on a jawbone outside the mall. I asked a scorched beast if God was real. It wept black blood and said big mood for real. You rusted bright. You kept me sick, but I'm still your pride. I kiss the dirt, I drink the air, and I laugh cause there's no one else there. I painted a smile on my gas match face, and I named the shotgun
die tomorrow, bury me where the mannequins scream. Tell him I went out singing, or at least laughing.